Sahel and I grew up in one of Damascus' vibrant neighborhoods. Our childhood was full of laughter, street games, and memories that we thought it would never end.
But the Assad regime destroyed our homes, silenced our dreams, and fractured the very heart of Syria.
We are going back, not to reclaim the lost past, but to rebuild it, one home and one family at a time.
We are filled with hope and have faith in the interim Syrian government and its approach to strengthening Syria's position on the global stage.
I understand that this journey seems small compared to the scale of the destruction, but we believe that every step forward matters. Every brick we lay, every hand we extend, helps heal the wound of this nation.
With the incredible support we've received from friends in the US and around the globe, we have raised enough to kickstart the first phase of restoring this family's hope.
We are humbled and inspired to share the progress as it unfolds.
See you in Damascus.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Damascus International Airport. The local time is 9:30 a.m. and the temperature outside is 18 degrees Celsius. On behalf of your flight crew, it's been our pleasure serving you today. We thank you for flying with us, and we wish you a pleasant stay here in Damascus.
Since March, please.
Thank you. Since March 2011, the Syrian people have endured unspeakable suffering, targeted with brutal retaliation simply for asking for freedom from a regime that has held them captive for over 6 decades.
We stand today on the outskirts of Damascus, a place once full of life, now reduced to rubble, where thousands of families fled, fearing that every day could be their last.
We are here not to dwell on the pain of the past, but to let it fuel our determination to move forward, to rebuild and to heal.
I am Tariq.
And I am Sahel.
And together we are honored to present to you the first ever episode of Hope 1208.
Hope 1208 is not just a number. It's a symbol of hope that was reignited for 99% of Syrians on December 8th, 2024. A day that marked the beginning of something new. A turning point in the midst of years of darkness.
Through these episodes, we will share with you stories of survival, of pain endured, and the unspeakable strength of a human spirit. Stories that remind us all that even in the harshest of circumstances, hope never dies.
14 years of displacement. It's a burden that weighs heavily on every part of us, physically, emotionally, financially. It has taken so much from so many.
But here today, we're not just talking about the past. We are here to give back a sliver of hope. We are here to help rebuild a home, to give a family the chance to start anew, to rise up and become an active, contributing member in their community once again. This street, Tishreen Hospital Street, was more than just a line on the map. It was the frontier between two worlds, one ruled by the Assad regime, the other held by the rebels. In the eyes of Assad's forces, every soul who lived on the right side of this narrow strip of asphalt was branded a terrorist. And that's where Maher, his wife Faten, and their 4 daughters lived. Maher and his family lived in this home since 2002, until what began as whispers of danger quickly spiraled into a fight for survival. In 2017, they were forced to flee everything they knew: home, memories, and even hope itself. But escape was only the beginning. You and your sisters spent most of your childhood in this home. Were you able to take with you anything that's precious to you? This was our home. My sisters and I grew up here, fought, played, and laughed. But when we left, we took nothing. We came back, but it was empty. The house was gone. Everything was gone. Not a single memory remained. No cards, no gifts, nothing. We left with nothing, and we returned to find nothing. Curious, I asked Maher, how did you manage to afford building this house? I worked as a carpenter. For 18 years, I would ride my bicycle to work.
جنيت تقريبا
I had saved enough to cover half of the building cost.
اضطريت لانه اتدين لحتى
I had to borrow to finish the house. I made sure everything was good quality, but it's all gone, as you see. When did you have to leave your home?
فترة يعني وقت صار ضرب هون وقصف ضلينا قاعدين ما
At first, we didn't leave when the bombardment started. Even as the shelling grew more intense, I was reluctant to leave. My daughter was about to give birth, and we were supposed to go to a nearby clinic to deliver the baby, but we couldn't. And why were you not able to go to the clinic that you mentioned?
يوم الولادة حصراً
The day Abir had to give birth, the nearby clinic had just been overwhelmed with casualties from a recent airstrike. They couldn't take in any more patients, and that's when we knew we had no choice but to leave. Abir added that as we were leaving, we were stopped at the checkpoint for about 20 long minutes. The soldiers kept asking why we were leaving and if we planned to come back. Eventually, they let us go. When we finally reached the hospital, the delivery went smoothly. But just 2 hours later, we had to leave. There was no time to rest or recover. We went straight to my uncle's place, which was in a safer area. But it was already crowded. His married daughters and their children had all moved in for safety. And how many people were living in the house that you lived in after you got out of the hospital? It was just a one-bedroom apartment with a small den. And 26 of us were packed into that tiny space. Since I was the new mother, they gave me the bed, while everyone else slept on the floor. It was one of the hardest times of our displacement, but somehow we endured it. And that's your daughter, Sham. At what point did you realize that you have to leave your home? When the shelling came closer, I knew we couldn't stay. I was terrified for my husband and daughters. Keeping them alive mattered more than the home we were about to lose. How about your other daughters? Did you take them with you? I have 2 younger daughters who were still in elementary school. The fear they felt at night, it was unbearable. They couldn't sleep, just terrified. We had no choice but to send them away. The day before going to the hospital, we reached out to their uncle who lived in a slightly safer area and had children their age, asking if he could take them in until we figured things out. Why did you not leave with your family? The Assad regime's forces had control over everything around us. Here, at least I could stay hidden, safe from the bombs and shelling. But crossing that street, it was like walking into a trap. They were arresting every man who dared to leave, and I couldn't risk it. This 2-bedroom home was more than just a place. It was a sanctuary for Abir and her sisters, a refuge where they could laugh, dream, and share their deepest secrets. It was a space filled with memories of hope, of a future that seemed so certain, so safe. But this home they once knew is gone. 2 bombs fell on their home, one crashing through the kitchen roof, the other tearing into the heart of this very room. The impact was devastating, shattering not only the walls, but the very sense of security that had once lived within them. As families fled in fear, escaping the chaos, Assad generals sent their men to plunder what was left behind. The thieves took everything: the doors, the windows, the tiles, and the faucets. They even stripped the electrical wires from the walls, leaving nothing but emptiness. A home that once held so much love, now left in ruins.
What was the event that made you think, that's it, no more?
I was coming home one day. As I turned the key to unlock the door, a deafening explosion shook the air. In an instant, I was thrown backward, slammed from my doorstep into the other side of the street. For a few moments, I just lay there, dazed, struggling to understand what had happened. Then it began to rain, metal, stone, and fire. Shrapnel and debris crashed down around me. I forced myself up and ran towards my aunt's house nearby, where she lived with her sick husband. When I reached them, I begged, pleaded for them to come with me. I knew we couldn't stay. My hope of living in this area had vanished in that single explosion. I found a vehicle, helped them inside, and we drove. But the road ahead was a war zone. Assad forces on one side, rebels on the other. Gunfire cracked through the air. We were trapped in the middle. There was no choice but to press forward. Our hearts pounding, and we drove faster straight toward a dirt barrier. Everyone in the car began to pray. For a moment, I thought it was the end. But somehow, we made it. We landed hard on the other side, out of the sniper's sight, alive, and far from the chaos that swallowed everything behind us. How did you manage financially?
طال الحصار يعني صار فترة أكثر من
At the start of the siege, there was still some food to be found. But after 100 days, there were times I went 10 days without eating.
يعني بدون أكل نهائيا عايش على
Water was all I had. My wife could design and make women's dresses. She managed to get a few orders, enough to keep herself and the girls going, but just barely. What does having your home rebuilt mean for you?
والله بيعني لنا بصراحة كتير يعني.
It means everything. When you finally have a place to call your own, it feels like you are not at the mercy of anyone. No one can throw you out. Even if we have nothing to eat, at least we would have somewhere safe to be.
هلا هذا البيت من أساسه كان أنا يعني.
This house was everything I wished for from the beginning. But when it was destroyed, everything was gone. I hope all the hopes and dreams get restored once the house is rebuilt.
الحياة اللي كنت بتمناها ترجع من أول وجديد. A few months ago, this project seemed impossible, but thanks to your support, the impossible is becoming reality. Now they're starting to demolish the affected area to reconstruct it again. And they said they're gonna finish in 7 to 10 days.
There is no way they're gonna finish in 7 to 10 days. Go work somewhere else, man. Yesterday, we notified the team that we would like them to come and do the construction. Today, this morning, since dawn, the whole team is assembled and busy at it. It is really amazing how resilient they are and how desperate they are for work.
This is the full area we're working on. A cozy one-story home with 2 bedrooms, a living room, a compact kitchen, and a tiny bathroom. What used to be a small garden is now being transformed into a 3rd bedroom, giving the girls some much-needed extra space as they are growing up.
Earlier this morning, when they were trying to get it to work, apparently the cable got cut. So somebody went, took it apart and went somewhere to fix it. They mended, came back, and now they put the parts back. Hopefully, it will work. It looks like this is where most of the serious damage was done to the house, and that's why they had to remove all the structures and all the walls from this side. I don't know. I don't want to sound like a negative Nelly, but I don't think it's going to work. Because without this generator, we cannot get this compressor to work. And without this compressor working, we cannot finish this final.
So we're just waiting on the pickup truck to remove the rubbles, and the other truck is gonna bring the bricks, and they're gonna start rebuilding as soon as tomorrow. They are crazy fast, man. The hole is gonna follow.
Oh my gosh, look at the lizard.
عمال زومن على أبوك.
Wow.
That's a lizard.
هيك تعبأت كيس الرمل هيك بنعبيه وهيك بنحمله بطريقة يدوية.
Today is day 2 of the reconstruction process. Yesterday they have demolished 90% of the walls that need to be demolished, and only one piece remaining here. And they're waiting for this wall to be erected so they can install the cement pillar here. And by the end of the day, most of these walls will be rebuilt. And hopefully by the end of this week, we'll have this premises completely closed, hopefully. We're just waiting for some materials to arrive, and we don't know if we're gonna be on schedule or not.
It's quite amazing how versatile these guys are. They didn't have a table, so they got the already makeshift ladder, and then they use it as a table, and now he's going to get the metal rod to cut it according to what he needs to use it for the roof.
You know, they have ceramic all around here, and I really don't like it. I wish I could convince the owner to remove the ceramic here, and we just install ceramic in the splash area here. It looks much nicer this way. I don't know why they have ceramic all around.
This is day 3, and as you can see, work is already underway. Most of the walls have been erected. They are now busy laying all the metal rods for the roof. Later on, they will be pouring all the concretes that they are now offloading from the car, and the roof should be done with the concrete and everything by later today, I guess. They will have to wait until it's dry. The forger for the windows and the main door will come later on to take the measurements, and they will be welding everything together.
Supporting such projects does not only give families a chance at new beginning, but also creates many job opportunities for individuals who are supporting many members of their households.
In addition, as a byproduct of the war, there are many compromised structures like these. Supporting these projects helps rebuild these buildings and reduce the risk of injury.
This is day 4, and they've done everything, the walls and everything from downstairs up to here, the roof. And we still have one wall to demolish, but they're waiting to finish everything so it holds together, so they can demolish that one wall downstairs. And we're all done with the building. They're really gonna be done by like 6 or 7 to 10 days. So they were on time. I'm not surprised, to be honest with you. I think they are really doing a good job. They are super fast. I'm very happy, content with the work. And they seem decent and honest as well. I'm happy. These builders work tirelessly, guided by skill, grit, and years of hard-earned experience. With only hand tools and their own strength, they mix concrete, whole materials, and rebuild what was lost. Each brick laid, every beam lifted is a testament to their courage, perseverance, and hope for a future built from the very ground they have restored. They are the silent architects of renewal, restoring not just buildings, but the spirit of a community that refuses to be broken. Through their hands, hope is slowly taking shape, one brick at a time. Look what I found, a bullet.
Wow. This is the actual bullet,
Actual
not
bullet,
the
yeah,
shell,
yeah.
right?
It's the actual bullet.
It's noon now of day 5. Construction is underway since early in the morning. These guys have laid everything clear on the roof, and all they need to do now, they need to mix the concrete and pour it. Once it's done, we have done a pretty much big chunk of the whole project. What seemed to be impossible, to me at least, 5 days ago, that they're going to be finishing 7 to 8, 10 days, now I can see it firsthand. Fascinating. These guys are resilient, strong, honest to God, hardworking. They just want to finish the job. Kudos to them.
That's it. And nothing left except the doors and the windows. And then plumbing, electricity, heating, air conditioning, and all the other stuff. And that's a wrap for today's episode. Now, as the person in charge for furnishing and decorating this home for this family, it's going to be really interesting to see how my distinct lack of style turns out. I may or may not need a lot of help. Stay tuned to see if I can turn this place to a home. And I will see you in the second part of this project. And yes, if you would like to sponsor the next project, please contact us. Your support can change lives.